Good morning. I know no one's here yet. That's okay. We'll give people if people are going to tune in. I know people actually have to work or have real jobs. But we'll give a little bit for people to kind of come in while I seep my tea or steep or whatever the word is. So I have been drinking this Buddha teas. It's the Sencha green tea. It's actually really, really good. I've been drinking that pretty much most of last week and all of this week so far. I have a lychee green tea that I picked up off of Amazon, and I can't seem to find the bag. So, but it is red. Good morning, Thomas. Yeah, so don't really know where it is, but if I don't find it, I'll reorder it because it's actually really, really good. And it's a green tea that's red. Good morning, Ray. Fuck, I'm sorry. Rob, I just saw your last name. I know who you are. So Rob and I recorded the first part of what do you call it? Nerding out. So Rob has like a radio program, and a section of it is I don't know if you yeah, Nerdy News. That's what it's called. So he has this radio show, not called Nerdy News, but it's what, 3 Beers Friday or something like that. I don't know, BBB. Anyway, so he has this section called Nerdy News, and he just talks sci-fi stuff and other nerdy stuff. And so there we go. 3 Beers Friday. So anyway, we talked, we chatted for like an hour yesterday. Actually, it was more than an hour, but we recorded about an hour of us. Probably about 45 minutes was focused on Picard season 2. And then maybe 15 minutes of it was focused on Halo. But yeah, and then because I had to go to class, I had a class to teach. We rescheduled another recording for today to finish out Strange New Worlds. And since a new episode of Strange New Worlds aired or dropped this morning, we'll have 2 episodes to watch. So that's funny. No, you know what I would say, Thomas, is it's not necessarily limited to 3 beers, but you have to drink the beers in threes. So you could have 3 beers, but if you wanted to go more, you'd have to up it to 9. So it's 3 times 3. So it really would go exponentially beyond that, at least in my theory. I don't know. So, okay. So my morning tea. That's some good tea. Yeah, so I had a lot of fun doing that. I always love nerding out. It's always fun. So what was it? But anyway, yeah. So I'm looking forward to gonna watch new episode of Strange New Worlds. I might just wait on what's it called? What is that called? What's that show called? I can't remember what it's called. Halo. I might wait on Halo because Halo is it's good. We were given it. I think we gave it like a minus B plus. But we talked about that, and we could probably talk more about that. But our main focus today is going to be on Strange New Worlds. So watch episode 2, and then I will when Rob uploads his radio show, he'll link it, he'll tag me, I'll share it, so we all can watch it. Let's see. I typically review 3 beers on the show and also drink while recording. You can make the home game version of the show however many multiples you want. Okay. No, that makes sense. Awesome. Now, here, Rob, do you review 3 beers? Or do you drink 3 beers in the process of, I mean, not just reviewing, but, through the recording, do you drink 3 beers by the end? Got some guys squealing in the car outside. Okay. So like I have a morning tea for this, and you have 3 beers for yours. I wonder who the alcoholic is. I know alcoholism isn't funny, but I like black humor. So, or I was reminded the other day, it's called dark humor, not black humor. Somebody was confused when I used the term black humor, and they thought it was basically black jokes. It's all jokes. There we go. Part-time alcoholic. So, if anybody has, now Rob and I have talked at length about this movie. One of my favorite side Enterprise or side Star Trek movies is called Enterprise or Free Enterprise. And it stars Eric McCormick and another guy. And anyway, it's basically this guy turning 30, and it's just their adventures. They're big Star Trek fans. Stars William Shatner. It's a great movie. If you can get a hold of it, watch it. In fact, so I thought about this for a year of Trek, that after watching DS9, that you watch the documentary What We Left Behind, because like it kind of, not only is it a documentary on the episode, but or on the show, but it's also the primary writers getting together to kind of flush out in play what the first episode in like season 8 would have been like, maybe 20 years later. So it's a great documentary. I'm really glad that they made it. And so I might just make that as one of, after DS9 after DS9, you watch What We Left Behind, the documentary, and then you go on to Voyager. So at some point, I think I might make Free Enterprise, because I've been toying with the idea of making, because my thought for Year of Trek originally was A Year of Trek. We're going to watch it in the order that it aired and per season. But I thought about all these different ways to watch it, and somewhat inspired by Clone Wars from Star Wars, because if anybody knows, with Clone Wars, if you watch it at chronological order, like the first episode you need to watch is from like season 3. And then you watch an episode from season 1. And then you watch the actual theatrical movie that kicked off the whole thing. and then like you watch like 5 episodes from season 1, then you go to season 3, then you go to season 2. So you're really bouncing around. It really doesn't get into true continuity per season until like season 4. So so I was thinking, okay, well, if you're going to watch it chronologically, well, we could watch Star Trek chronologically, not necessarily the way that it airs, but by star date. So because the star date system really wasn't fleshed out in any way, it was just a random number that they threw out there, which reminds me I have to make a note on about Strange New Worlds episode 1, and we can talk about that later, or at least later with Rob. It wasn't like a set date, like, going from here to there, that there was no really continuity. It was just a random number. In the Next Generation, it became a little bit more fleshed out. So, it was more organized, and really the only numbers that kind of fluctuated were the numbers between were the last 3 digits and the decimal, what I call the decimal digit, or the number that came after the digit, or after the decimal. So, so it was, but I was thinking, setting up, like having, because I have this Year of Trek guide, and it would be, and I would probably have to put out I'd probably have to publish a new book every year. So I wouldn't want to make it too expensive. Maybe, maybe $10, $9-10. I think that's what it is now. I think it's $9, $10. But update it for every season, still have it go from September 8th to September 7th, but have different versions that you could watch. Like watching it in star date order, literal star date order. And then having the rule that, okay, well, one episode does not have a star date in it. So we would just assume that story came after, the most recent episode, or the closest episode to a star date. So, so we could run it that way. The kind of cool thing about this is watching that is that we actually start with Enterprise and not the original series, but we start with Enterprise, and then we go and we watch the first 2 seasons of Discovery. Okay. And then we would watch Strange New Worlds, and then we would watch the original series, not in order of it at it aired, and then the Next Generation. And then it would start to get kind of blurred with the Next Generation, the last season of the Next Generation, and DS9, because we wouldn't complete a series. We would, like, if there was one episode in one star date in one series, and then the next series had another star date, we would watch it. So it would be like we're watching continuously and kind of going back and forth, which would make it interesting for, especially with Voyager and DS9, because they aired at the same time for multiple seasons. So you'd be switching between the Alpha Quadrant and the Delta Quadrant back and forth, and sometimes maybe even on the same day, because of course, as new episodes of Discovery come out, as Picard season 2 comes out, or season 3. Well, they're going to end it with season 3, so it'll be easy to end that way. But we don't know how much Voyager or Discovery they're going to make, and we don't know how many seasons Strange New Worlds they're going to make. So we're going to have at least 2 seasons of Discovery, or Strange New Worlds. I'm sorry to insult you, Strange New Worlds. But we're going to have at least 2 seasons of that, possibly 3. We don't know how many seasons. And just like because Strange New Worlds is going to be episodic, they're not going to tell us how long in between each story happens. So like, like they can take time between seasons, but normally, like say, like what is it? Discovery, like the end of Discovery, like the hell in the whole thing, the first episode of Discovery, you have the first episode of season 3. Of course, she's in the future. Michael is in the future, and then the next episode is literally a year later. So, if I remember correctly. But other than that, it's a continuing story that only lasts like maybe a month or 2 months or a week or whatever. So, anyway, so I thought about, you could have, basically a bigger book for the guide, and have your different options. Year of Trek, or so your year of Trek, you could watch it like 1 year you could watch it in Stardate order. In another year you could watch it in in order that it was aired, and then maybe with a little bit of research I could do everything in the order that they were filmed, because especially with the next generation, or not the original generation, the Man Trap, which was the first episode aired, was actually the 6th episode filmed. So that could make it interesting. And you know what? That actually kind of brings up, I'm curious if, at least with the original series, if they filmed it in Stardate order, like they just was like, okay, well, and then ended up airing it so it would air differently. Morning, Bill. How you doing? Okay, so Rob, we were talking about free enterprise earlier and putting it Year of Trek. So free enterprise is like the bonus feature of a Year of Trek. Absolutely. Yeah. And okay, so the other guy that that played opposite Eric McCormick, it was like his best friend in the movie. He actually became a weatherman. I think you are right. It might be the Chicago News, or Chicago Morning News. So anyway, so there are just some thoughts kind of going on the back of my head when it comes to Star Trek and how to watch it. Mainly because I was thinking, okay, yes, StarWars.com does have a list of episodes of to watch the Clone Wars in chronological order. But I was like, well, I could just take that information, give more information on it, and actually just have a year of Star Wars, because you've got 7 episodes of what is it? You've got 7 episodes or 7 seasons of Clone Wars, which is funny, 7 seasons, it takes place in 3 years. I thought that was, that's interesting. And then you've got the 9 movies, and then you've got Boba and, Boba and the Mandalorian, and we have Kenobi. Oh my gosh. I don't even know how many days. It is the 12th. So, hey Siri, how many days until May 27th? Oh, she says she's there, but she's not listening to me. Oh, well. All right. So let's just say really, really soon, because it's like Thursday now. So if I actually go to my calendar, so 15 days from now. 15 days. 2 weeks until Kenobi hits. I'm freaking excited. So, I don't know Haven't figured out exactly how we're going to do that yet. If we're going to stream, watch, and then stream, or maybe I'll just do a later tea and then talk about Kenobi. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, so super excited. I can freely say this here because my wife doesn't watch my shit. So my wife's turning 50 on Sunday. So everybody just message her on her birthday. I actually had a friend of mine I used to work with. He messages me and he says, "Hey, besides an AARP card, what do 50-year-old guys like?" I'm just like, oh my God. My first response was going to be like, your wife's ass. Because his wife's hot. But I mean, my wife is hot. But I just wanted that to be my first response. But I was like, no, that's, that would be wrong. But yeah, so I told him, I said, well, I'm not there yet. So I'll tell you when I get there. So, but yeah, so anyway, message my wife, Lisa, just send her. So whoever's watching this, just get onto Facebook. If it's just even if it's some just random person, just say, Mish told me to wish you a happy birthday. Now, I don't know why she says she doesn't want anybody over at the house. So she's like, I don't want a party. And I'm like, we're turning 50 years old. She says she doesn't want a party. So of course I'm throwing her a little party. So I've been inviting some of her close friends. I don't want it to be a big party. My birthday is going to be the big party. My party's going to be the big party, which I'll tell you about that in a second. So we sent off, I just been sending texts out, and Uriel, dude, how you doing? I'm glad you were able to pop in. Uriel's birthday is on Saturday. So happy birthday, happy birthday. I try and do birthday. I've tried to start doing shout outs. I only do this on Monday through Friday, so I don't do it actually on Saturday. So happy birthday to Uriel. But anyway, so we're doing that. But I've been telling people that Lisa doesn't want a birthday party, or says she doesn't want to do anything for her birthday, but all I hear is surprise me. So we're having a party. Now we're talking about, I don't know how we're going to pull that off, because she doesn't really like to leave the house, on her days off, or, she's just like, well, she does, but when it's something for her. So we're going to try and organize something to get her out of the house for a little bit, so I can at least try and decorate, or maybe I can just decorate and then she can just wake up and there'll be decorations, and then people get her out of the house, or maybe people just start showing up and I'll just be like, yeah, when I told you put a bra on. So, Uriel, you're invited to the party. So if you're still on there, make sure you check your Facebook invite. And if you can go, I want you there. Not to Lisa's birthday, to my birthday party, and to the seminar, if you can make it. Because so I told, we're all talking about birthday parties, and Lisa's like, she doesn't want one. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry, I'm turning 50. I'm having a party. Like there's, yes, she is, but she's going to love it. So, I mean, I've done this before, she'll be fine. She'll be fine. So, so I told her, I was like, well, I'm going to throw a party. And And I said, but I said, mine's going to be more of a seminar. And it's pretty much what the seminar's for is for my party. But then I was like, but I kind of actually want to party. I mean, yes, I want to have a seminar. It's going to be fun. And by Sunday morning, I'm going to be totally worn out. But, but I was telling her last night that I was like, yeah, I said, yeah, we're going to have a party. She's like, oh, I thought it was going to be at the school. I'm like, no. That's the seminar. The seminar is going to be at the school. The party is going to be at our house. And she's like, I don't want a lot of people over here. I'm like, but it's my birthday. Like, it's my birthday party. Like, this is for me. I mean, I try not to be a selfish person. I know sometimes it can be. And, but I'm sorry, I'm turning 50. It's my fucking day. It's just kind of how it is. And I'm having a party. So, so then she's like, well, you have to clean it up yourself. Okay. I said, I'll have the house cleaned by this weekend. And she's like, what's happening this weekend? I'm like, I don't know. It's like, I'll just have the house clean this weekend. So it'll be easier to clean up, by my birthday. And then she looks at me. So she might have an idea that I'm doing something, but that's all that's the only little inkling that she has. So, all right. Well, Uriel, if you can make it, totally make it. I want to see you. If not, we definitely need just to get together for coffee, because I think that would be fantastic. So just because I haven't seen you in a long time. Let's see. What else was I going to say? All right, let's see. I don't want that link. Birthdays. Is anybody having a birthday today? Nope, no birthdays today. I got one person's having a birthday tomorrow, and there's Uriel. Facebook is telling me it's your birthday tomorrow, Uriel, but I try and rely on my own book. Let's see. You may not make it to 50. See, she threatens that all the time. Nah, she may. See, here's the thing. Now she does watch a lot of CSI and Law and Order. But she's more hooked on, she actually really, really likes CSI Miami. And since that's the dumbest fucking show on the planet, yeah, she would, if she killed me, she wouldn't be able to get away with it because, yeah, but I don't know. I'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Let's see. Okay, so martial arts wise, I just posted the event for Bram's birthday on Facebook and sent out a bunch of invites. If you did not get an invite, I'm sorry. It is a public thing. You can totally go on there. I tried to invite as many local people as possible, and if you are not local here, I just assumed you may not be able to make it. So it's 64 days away until his, and that's another birthday camp with cake. And then mine will, of course, mine will be, mine is less than 3 weeks away. I was just looking at this. I was trying to think of like, how many weeks away is it? Is it 3 or is it 4? Yeah, it's on the 4th. So 1, 2, 3 weeks and 3 weeks and 2 days. So we're really, really coming up on it. What is it? She would be a boss in prison, so she may not mind. Okay, yeah, you're probably right. All right, so still have no idea what I'm going to teach your birthday. Locks, gun disarms, both. Who knows? So Bobby and I were actually just talking about that the other day, because he was like, what are people teaching? I don't know what to teach. So I'm going to go over, me personally, I'm going to be teaching the first 3 entries for crimp, but I'm not just going to cover it with a crimp. I'm going to cover it empty hand, point out some pressure points. We'll cover a crimp, and then we'll also modify that for knife. So we're going to cover the same 3 entries from that closed 2 with from an empty hand position, from a knifed position, and from a crimp position. So that'll be fun. And then because Bobby was wanting to talk about gunting, he knows a little bit about pressure points, so he was going to be, but he was going to go into some gunting, and then from more of a Filipino martial arts standpoint. So, which, crimp is based in Filipino martial arts, but it is what it is. I think that what Bobby and I do will really, really complement each other. Rob, whatever you have to, locks and gun, whatever you bring, it's, all of us will complement each other. So, I just haven't figured out who's teaching first. Rory has been talking about him teaching last. I don't know. I might want to be the birthday boy and teach last. I might want to be the birthday boy and teach first. Or I could be the first one. I could be the first one to teach after lunch. So I don't know. That's kind of what I've been playing with on my end. I really, honestly, I haven't reached out to any instructors to ask preferences. I might just do that just to kind of get the ball rolling. But Rory had made a mention, because Rory's really good at tying everything together. And so he said that he might be a good ender and basically be able to tie everything that all the instructors did up at the end. So I've kind of been toying with that as well. So all that we do know, whatever's important, is that we have to have an energetic session after lunch, because we don't want a lecture after lunch. That's people will die, and it'll be boring, and we'll be tired, because whatever we will have eaten will be on some carb thing. Yes. Yeah, definitely. I have faith. I have faith that you'll feed off what everything else is going on, or what everyone else is doing. So yeah. Let's see. And then even thinking forward to next year, Uriel and or Joanne, they're both local martial artists. And I'd love to have you teach next year. I'm looking at, this is going to be, because, my birthday happens annually. The idea is to do an annual experience, Friends in the Arts experience. So, and then just have, maybe some fresh faces come back and some new faces come in, and just make it just a fun old time. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about. Let's see. So there's Bram's, there's mine. I got a crimp class coming up this Saturday. Mental note, gotta push that out to a couple people that I haven't done that yet. I've talked to them, but actually haven't given the information. So here's an interesting thing. Now Father's Day, I've been kind of toying with what to do for Father's Day. So we talked about this yesterday. I really like the idea of a weapons retention, disarm, or weapons defense type of seminar keep it stereotypical, man's man type of thing. Women, of course, are invited, but kind of keep it more stereotypically dudeish. And then let's see. And then what was I okay, so sorry, momentary lapse of thought there. So June 18th is Saturday, the day before Father's Day. So I was thinking about doing it then, and I was toying with the idea, do I do two? Do I do, one in the morning and one in the afternoon? And then I was thinking, oh my, okay, this is a squirrel. I love this, Rob. Stick fighting using fishing rods. Oh my gosh. Okay. That might make that. Okay. That might make for a good TikTok. I like that. Bill, if you can be here next year, that would be fucking awesome. If I don't see you earlier, we will definitely make sure that we see each other more often next summer. So anyway, so then I get a text this morning from my ex stepsister. I've never been on the maybe, I don't know, years and years ago, we had a little falling out, but we were never BFFs. I mean, her mom is the wicked stepmother, your typical wicked stepmother. My current stepmother, that I don't see that often, I refer to her more as a bonus mother, and my stepdad. Even though my mom died, I guess he isn't my stepdad anymore. I don't know how the laws work, but I still see him as he's that bonus father. So in the end, I end up with two pretty okay step parents. But the first stepmom, she's a piece of work. So anyway, I get a text from my ex stepsister, and saying that on the 18th from like noon until 4, they're having like a family reunion. And usually any emails I get from my stepmother, I just delete. They just automatically go into the delete. I don't read them. And so I don't, but Pilar, anyway, my stepsister, she says that she emailed Lisa. She doesn't have my email address, but she did email Lisa about like a little family reunion. So I don't know if Leslie's going to be there. And if it is, it's fine. I wouldn't actually go to see her. I would actually go to see Pilar, because I actually kind of like Pilar. I think age-wise, she is maybe 5 years older than me. Ian, well, yeah, 5, 6 years older than me, I think. And Ian, my stepbrother, ex-stepbrother, he's like 7 or 8 years older than I am. So, but I got along with them, and I really enjoyed their company. So, but I actually really like Pilar's husband. He actually is a doctor that works at Providence. So he and I got along well at work, and we would joke about these family events. And he's like, "Oh, you missed a family gathering," and I'm like, "No, I didn't. I didn't, because I don't go." And long negative history with the stepmother. um, if there is a hell, if I wish would anybody, if I would wish anybody to in eternity to eternal burning and damnation, it would be her. So, and I don't really feel that way about. That's very extreme. I used to be like, I hate extremists. But yeah, I don't mind. I have no qualms about that. Yeah. Anyway, I've considered going because I would see Pilar, because I get to potentially see Todd, unless of course he switched with somebody at work so he could go to so he wouldn't have to go on Saturday. And then potentially maybe seeing Ian if he's going to be in town. Not a big fan of my half sisters, but maybe it might be nice to see him. You know, Lisa gets along with him, which that's a whole different story about, you know, a spouse supporting another spouse when it comes to negative family dynamics. So, but the other reason I wouldn't go is because of my ex-step-uncle. And years ago, I had actually it was going to be a Next 3 seminar. And I can't remember why, but there was a reason Stan wasn't able to do it. So it was going to be because Jason is a judo guy and he's actually super freaking talented. And I played judo with him for a little bit at his place over in Selwood. He teaches out of the community center over there. But anyway, if he's there, I would actually rather see Leslie than Jason. So I'm kind of debating, do I go? Do I not go? It wouldn't interfere with, you know, the day, because it's going to be happening on the same day that I would do this Father's Day seminar. I was debating about doing 2 different ones at 2 different times, but the morning one for the women it was really popular. So I figured, well, if I only do one, if I just do one at 10, just do a 10 to noon, have a 2-hour thing, then it would be, I wouldn't have to worry about like not having anybody show for the afternoon. And usually, you know, if you go in the morning, you can get it done and over with, and you have the rest of your day instead of splitting up the day. So I've toyed with the idea of only having one in the morning. So you'd have that one in the morning, and then I could go to this thing. But the reason I don't get along with Jason is, and I couldn't tell you why this happened at all, but I was going to have him at this thing, and I don't know what it was. I think I posted something. on Facebook in relation to teaching kids or something like it was something. And he saw the post, and it wasn't negative. Like it was like this, you know, here are my thoughts on teaching kids and all this kind of stuff. And he started going on this rampage on me, this online rampage on me about how I'm a horrible instructor. I don't know what, you know, how dare I be so young and have a 5th degree. And I think it was just around the same time that it was just maybe a year or so after I had gotten it. But he's like, you know, you don't deserve that rank. Come to my school and I'll show you what a real martial artist is. And I'm like, dude, what the hell? Like, I didn't know where it was coming from. Totally confused at what was going on. And this is somebody at the time, like, it was funny because he actually was like, I thought we were cool. Like he would introduce us to, you know, he would introduce me to people using this long explanation of, well, his father married my sister and I don't get along with my sister, but I get along with his father. And so, but his father and my sister got divorced. So he's kind of my nephew, but he's kind of not. And I'm just like, Jason, I'm your nephew. You're my uncle. People don't need the whole backstory. So I thought we were cool. And I would try to attend classes regularly as possible because, I wanted to learn a little bit of ground game. And I figured, yeah. So I had no problem, I didn't have any problem with him. But then he starts just going off and all this stuff. So, and then people would be messaging me like, off, personally going, who is this guy? Like, what, like, is he threatening you to a fight? Like, it was crazy. So I message him and I'm just like, I'm like, don't bother showing up at the seminar at all. Don't want you there. If you show up, I will have you arrested. So, this is a pre-trespass warning. Do not show up. You're not invited. And so it ended up just being a Mark and Dan thing. And this was just like a week or two before the actual event. And so then like the morning of the event, because I sent him this long, this personal message going, I don't know what's going on. It's, because he was personally insulting me. He was, threatening to beat me up. It was crazy. So I tell him, don't bother. It was this long message that I gave him. And so like the morning of the event, or maybe the day before the event, maybe it was the morning of the event, he texts me and he says, I've got some people coming with me, and he also makes this barbecue sauce called sensei sauce. It's actually pretty good, but he's like, I'll bring, how many people are pre-registered? I'll bring it, I'll bring enough sauce to hand out to people, and as a gift. And I'm like, I text him back. I'm like, what does don't bother showing up mean to you? Like, like it was like he was texting me like nothing happened. And I'm like, do you not remember the rant that you went off on me? Like, are you kidding me? You think that you can talk to me that way and I'm still going to be, I'm still going to want to even see you. So that was years ago, like years. Don't know if he's going to be there or not. In fact, Alan Best from Best Martial Arts, he hosts this, he might be, I don't know for sure. He might be, he might, because he like when I talk about it and when I think about that, it could be he could have had a totally switched out, like off his meds type of situation. And that's why I'm still considering going. But like Alan Best has he does this thing called the Pacific Martial Arts Conference, PACMAC. Hosts it twice a year, one time in January, one time in April. And I've been to it a few times. I taught at it once. It's a great, like, no charge. Every instructor gets 25 minutes on the floor. There's like a 5 or 10 minute break in between, or maybe even just a 5, and it's all donation. You just kind of come in, put 10 or $20 in the box, and then that money goes somewhere. But Yeah. But anyway, so Jason teaches at it regularly. I have not been to a PAC-MAC since, because I don't want to run into him. Just because I don't want the drama. That's a possibility too. Yeah, I don't know. Or he could just be an asshole. Don't know. But yeah, I mean, if he's if it's a mental health issue and he was just off his meds, still not okay what he did, but more understandable of why that happened. But I will be honest when it comes to, and I actually did a Journey episode on this, on bullying. That because, and I took it really, really hard because it was personal. Like, I considered him family, not just an instructor, because, you know, he was teaching me judo, but like he was family. And yeah, like some of the stuff that he said, it really affected me. Like I was at the point of questioning myself. Am I a good instructor? Like, yeah, like it was that bad. It was really bad. So, because I'm older and wiser, and you know, sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. Which is true yet a lie. I don't know if I've talked about my theory on that phrasing before, but that's something my mom always used to tell me, and it's one of the biggest truths and one of the biggest lies that parents tell their children. So, and then, but anyway, because I've already been through that with him, and I can just ignore him, really. I actually have been considering going. So yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that's a good point. My brother was in his 30s when he got his 5th in Aikido. So Jason is currently a 6th degree in, well, he's my problem. One of my problems with, I'd say, older martial artists, or maybe martial artists who are too ego-sized, are they give me their resume of everything they've done every time I talk to them. And so that was one thing I noticed with Jason right off the bat. Like, he had some nth degree in Taekwondo. I know he's at least a 6th degree in Aikido. He's done karate. Like, you know, any person who has a martial arts bug, they've studied different systems. He is more of a judo guy. I know his father, God, I can't remember his name. Long dead and gone. He was actually a really cool guy. I never knew, but he was also a big judo guy, like high-ranking, very well-known judo guy. But Jason would give his resume constantly. And I'm like, I don't care. Like, I don't, like, stop reminding me that you got your black belt in Taekwondo before I was born. I don't give a shit. Like, I don't care. Like, it does not matter to me. I don't know. Yeah, so it's one of those ego things. And, you know, and Aikido, I know Aikido is one of those arts. They don't just hand that shit out either, especially the higher ranks you go. Like, you really got to know your shit. So judo's the same way. Jiu-jitsu is the same way. Yeah, judo is slow to promote. So, and it may even be and I don't know this. I can only assume that maybe he pissed off somebody in some judo association that was just like, guess what? You're blacklisted. Maybe they didn't tell him, and he's just never going to promote again. I don't know. That I remember he had mentioned something about how he was banding together with other big martial artists to create a national martial arts association that would more legitimize martial artists. So you couldn't just have willy-nilly martial artists open schools and hurt people, molest people. You had to be qualified. And it's funny because I was like, no, dude, sign me up. I want to be part of that. Like, I absolutely agree. In fact, this is not the first time that I've thought about doing that. I actually own 2 domains focused on that. I think it's called, I think I have Martial Arts Association, US Martial Arts Association.com or United States Martial Arts.com, something like that. Because not that I don't have a lot of time on my hands. I would love for there to be a unified martial arts organization, and that is all dedicated to certifying martial artists to be legit. And that would and it wouldn't, and basically the panel, and it wouldn't be in charge of ranking. It wouldn't be in charge, there would be no ranking done by the organization. There wouldn't be any Hall of Fame. There wouldn't be there might be an instructor of the year or something like that. Yes. A better business bureau for the martial arts. Absolutely. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And so, but it's one of those where you could, people could go to the website, search a system or a style or even an area and see everybody who's registered. And basically, I would almost run it like Oregon runs their DPSST security. The cost of registration would never go because in Oregon, whatever the cost of your licensing, the money stays within, surprisingly enough, a government organization that doesn't steal from each other. But DPSST for security, all of the money stays within the security. And so if there's surplus at the end of the year, the fees go down for the next year. Okay. And if it's deficient, then the fees go up. So, so it's basically, it would fund itself. And if I or somebody started it, it would be a nonprofit. So it'd just be one of those where, but it would be, you'd have background checks, maybe not annual, but maybe biannual background checks. You would have, you'd have, say, maybe a certified school and then certified instructors. So the school could be that there'd be an executive account, and then you'd have the schools, the instructors underneath it. So say you have Artisan Martial Arts. Artisan Martial Arts would have a school membership, and then any instructors I have under me teaching at the school, then I would register them as students, or I would register them as instructors. So then, so then I'd be like, oh, and even if I had to hire somebody off the street, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to need your fingerprints, all that kind of stuff. And then I send it off. And it only costs, I think the last time I checked, because when I was really serious about looking into it, I could get fingerprints, a fingerprint background check through the Washington State Patrol for like $50 or $58. So, so you're paying, I don't know, $100 for a 2-year membership. Like, and to keep that membership, you pay another $100, and then it's like, okay, well, we're going to double check this person again and see. And so you get it, recertified every 2 years. And so it would almost be that seal, like, and it would also, not just for that, but it would have to be promoted well enough to the outside world, to moms and dads and basically lay martial arts people or potential martial arts people, that the symbol of, a national martial arts organization, that's a symbol of trust. So yeah, I join. Absolutely. I'd totally be part of that. And so when Jason's like, oh, well, yeah, this is what we're trying to do, I'd be like, sign me up. but like, it would also, like, bouncing off, continuing on with that, you'd also have, and okay, as a squirrel, I have a bunch of people watching right now, but I only see just a couple names up here. So if you haven't chimed in, let me know who's watching. I'd love to, say hi. I'd love to say hi back. But and even join in the conversation if you can. If you're driving, don't get in an accident. Anyway, so but even like there might even be like a board of directors where, like, you have like a one person who's a judo person, one person. Adam, hey, how you doing? How's Providence treating you? You like my email? But you'd have a judo person, you have a karate person, you have a taekwondo person. Like, you'd have people that that would, it wouldn't be like a super big panel, but there'd be enough people that that when, like, if a school was to join, or say even like you get this first degree black belt that wants to open a school. Me personally, I think that's unwise, but I mean, I think you should have a little bit more experience before opening a school, but it happens. And there are some first degree black belts that are freaking amazing instructors. So, but using the example, you get this, this 21-year-old first degree black belt who wants to open a school, and it's like, okay, what curriculum are you going to teach? How, so you're not just doing a background check, but it's like, okay, well, what's your philosophy on teaching kids? What is, yeah, so it's just, I don't know. There's, it would be so big. There'd have to be so much going into it. I myself wouldn't be able to do it alone, but I think that it's something like that. I am so pro. And so, you give that stamp of, seal of approval, but also the organization could also provide like basic business training or basic business resources. So, so like, say Brandon Beliso or what's his name? Tom Callis comes to mind, but he's kind of retired from that. Dave Kovar, some of these guys that are out there that are top notch. I'm not out there to steal your money and give you bullshit. Business martial arts mentors. So getting maybe some of them involved, that would be amazing. So Just my 2 cents on that subject as it pops up. Holy shit, I've been talking for over an hour. Yeah. All right. I don't miss recruiting for our school. When I worked for ATA, we bought into the whole script work. Yeah, I'm not into that. The whole, like, my whole thing is, this is like, I don't want to try and talk anybody into something that they're not okay doing. If they want, that, and that's why I offer my 10 for 10. People come out, they play, they get 10 days, 10 calendar days to try out as many classes they like. That allows me to get to know them, and that allows them to get to know me as an instructor. And if they want to continue, then they can continue. And I don't have any contracts. I don't do no long-term contracts. I actually work at like a monthly subscription. So if they're like, yeah, we want to do this. Okay, this is how you sign up for real. And it's a cancel anytime. So the way I talk people into it is just like, or I don't not talk in people into it, but the way I talk about it, it's like Netflix. It's a monthly subscription. You sign up on the 14th. The 14th of the next month is is when you're going to be charged. It's cancel anytime. If you're not happy, you can cancel. But if you're going to cancel, come and talk to me. I would, whatever issue we're having, I would hope that we'd be able to work it out, because as students come in, they become part of my family. That's just how it is. I've always been like that. Yeah, absolutely. And there are some people killing it, absolutely killing it, when it money-wise and student-wise, have multiple schools that do the long-term contracts, that do all that. But yeah, I don't think it's ethical to try and talk somebody into something and then have them stuck in a contract. Good buddy of mine, Carl, and this is where I originally got the idea, was from my buddy Carl. He hasn't done contracts for a long, long time. Brandon Beliso, he preaches the same thing, but Carl hasn't done it in a long, long time. He actually used to be, he was kind of back in the day, the Junri Taekwondo school. You had like and I don't know, Adam, if you were ever had this experience when the whole script thing, but bringing talking people, he'd have a binder and he'd flip pages and basically go through the whole sale thing. And then he actually had one person sign up for black belt. Like, he paid like $3,000, $3,500, something like that. And it was like, bought the whole program up front, signed a check, never saw him again. Never saw him again, ever. And Carl's just like, okay, great. I just made $3,500, but, and that was $3,500 back in the 80s, like the late 80s, early 90s. That's a shit ton of money. Okay. Yeah, those paid in fulls. Yeah. It's, I don't know. I just, I see that ethically, I see that as a problem, is that, okay, so you come train with me, you pay for black belt. I do a pay in full, whatever it costs. And you start training and you start coming to class for free because you've already prepaid. But then I have, I'm bad with my money, or maybe I haven't had a lot of people come in, or something like, I don't know, the economy tanks and I can't keep my school open anymore. Okay. do, and maybe you've only made it to say like orange belt. So you're not even halfway there. You're like, maybe like for me, you'd be in my new curriculum, you'd be about a quarter of the way there. Okay. Like, how ethical is that? Like, you've just stole this person's money. They are out all that money and they don't get the training. So I think month to month is the way to go. It's new, it's different, it's risky, but I think that I think it's the new way of doing business. And people are used to subscriptions. They're used to having Netflix. They're used to Hulu, Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, Apple One, or Apple Plus. I don't know what I think it's Apple One is the whole whole encompassing thing. But I mean, they're used to that concept of subscriptions nowadays. So I actually use the term subscriptions when I talk about stuff. The other way is just unethical. And I don't charge for belt fees either. So one price, it might be a little bit high, but everything is included. Let's see. We offer a month-to-month option, 6-month option, 12-month option, and auto renews. Like you said, if they do a 6 or 12-month agreement, we do discounts. It has worked well for us. And if it works well, that's great. It's just, it's that standard old style of doing business. But if it works for you, and the people around you don't mind, and that's the status quo, and people are like, yeah, no problem, then that works. Let's see. In Orlando in the 90s, we had a lot of pop-up schools that were contract-based, save 30% when you pay up front, and then they close shop and all the money was gone. Yeah. Well, I think, okay, what was it? Harvey. So Harvey Hundent, who will also, I'm going to pause on that. Yeah. Yes. So you're, I do free uniforms. So one price. I currently charge $159 a month. Okay. It's all auto credit card. I don't take cash. I don't take checks. It's all charge online. It's an automatic system. Okay. I do have a friend of mine who, good morning, Kenny. How you doing? I've been talking for like over an hour. So this has been fun. Now we're talking about, martial arts business. And I got some new people on here. One of them is Adam. So I charge $159 a month, all credit card based, all subscription based. You do it. I don't keep any of those numbers. It's all online. No contract fees. So there is no sign up fee. There is no, you get a free uniform. You get, there's no charging for promotions. And this is one of the reasons why I don't charge for promotions, is because, first of all, the stigma of paying for a belt. If I've gone through the curriculum and I've earned that belt, don't I deserve that belt? You know, I don't know. It's just one of those things. And it's not like I don't look at it as an 8th place trophy thing. I mean, you still have to earn the belt. You still have to do what you need to do to be awarded that belt. But if I know my kata and I know my applications and I know my pressure points and I know whatever, one step sparring or, then I've earned that belt. And so we get away from that paying for the belt thing. Plus, yes, prices are going up, but honestly, what does a brand new belt cost us? Wholesale, it costs us about, I don't know, $4 plus shipping. So if you're ordering a bunch of belts, they're what, $5, $6 a piece. And this person has given you $159 a month for 4 months. Yeah, I can spend $6 on them. I can spend that amount of money. Yeah, less than $5. Yeah. So and the uniform, what does that cost? A size 6 uniform or even a size 7 uniform is like the biggest size average for a standard student weight thing. That's going to cost what, $20 now wholesale. I don't know, Kenny, how much you guys get it for, but it's been a while since I've been on Century to order stuff, but yeah, under $20. Okay. And so you're looking at a kid. Of course, the smaller ones cost less. And so let's say even $10 for like a kid's uniform. And that kid is growing up and the kid grows a little bit within that first year that they're with you. And so I don't have, okay, hold on a second. Somebody do the math for me. $159 times 12. Okay. So we're looking at what? I don't know, $1,800 maybe. So that person has paid you $1,800 for a year so far. And I'm going to give them a new uniform. That's $20. And they've earned 3 belts with me. That's what? Let's say the belt is $5. Okay. So that's $20, 25, 30, $35. So they've paid, oh, thank you. All right. $1,908, almost $2,000. Okay. So let's subtract 3%. Let's just say it's $1,800 because credit card service fees, maybe a little bit more. Okay. They paid you $1,800 and you're out what? $35 for a fucking uniform and belts? Like, the whole reason people charge for belt promotions is most people it's just to earn more money, and it's just what is it? It's nickel and diming the students and the parents. So much easier to charge one fee and make it simple, as simple as possible. For me, I also give discounts on seminars. So if you're one of my students, you're going to get into the seminar for free or at a discount. So like, okay, for instance, this Friends in the Arts thing, it's $100. You're going to see 6 instructors. You're going to be there for 6-7 hours because of course there's going to be a lunch break. My students pay $80, and the only reason they're paying $80 is because, well, that is 20% off. But I still have to pay the other people. Like, now, one of the cool things about these instructors is that I just told them, I can't promise you any money at all, but I want to do this and I'd love for you to teach. And they all were like, absolutely, yes, Mish, we will do that for you. So technically I could make 20 grand and not give them a dime, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to share the love because we're, martial artists, we're all poor, So, but like even for the Mother's Day thing, it was $10. It was 10. I charged $10 for the class, but if you're a student, you got in for free. So, and I actually had a daughter, one of my students and her mom take the class. They charge for free. Why not? Why not charge one price and just give more? Okay. Kenny, you've got a lot to say. A lot of people are surprised and are really glad that you only charge once a month and not having to buy all the extra crap. Usually why some families don't like sports, like, cool, you sign up, but now you get the shin guards, socks, hats, etc. Yeah, exactly. And there are some, there are some schools out there. I do know some schools out there that do the subscription, and they're like, the only thing that they're going to have you buy is a sparring pack because they spar. And, when it comes to sparring equipment, that stuff you don't really want to share. Screw COVID. Other people's sweat is gross. So you really want your own, you want your own stuff. So there are people out there, they're like, yeah, this is what we charge, but you do have to buy your own sparring pack at this point in the curriculum. And if you buy it from us, it'll be $200 or whatever, yeah, absolutely. So, and like for me, like, so say weapons, I teach a modular knife class. I have training knives for people to use in class. If they want to buy their own trainer, they can buy it. No pressure. They can either buy them directly from Bram, or I have some, they can buy them from me. So it's just one of those things. So, I've thought about doing, maybe this summer I might do like a special Saturday batleth class. So I'll be teaching a batleth form and maybe some applications. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to build a bunch of batleths so people can use them. But if they want to buy one of them, yeah, sure, they can buy one, but I'm not going to make them buy one. There was this one guy who was running a school. I can't remember where he was, but basically he was teaching a bow seminar, and it was $20 for the seminar because it was only like an hour or two class or something like that. It was inexpensive. If you did not have a bow, you had to buy a bow, unless of course you already had one. And so, of course, he was selling those. So there was that. So yeah, it's crazy. Wow. Okay. And I still have tea. So technically the episode isn't over yet, even though I've been talking for an hour and 20 minutes. All right. We had a pro shop that bought wholesale, marked up everything 25% and slapped our logos on everything. Yeah. Actually, yes, like the Klingon batleth. Yes. Is my tea cold? Absolutely. It was warm when I started, but yes, it's always in. Yes, like the sword of Kalis. Yes. Yes. In fact, I actually have a sword of Kalis, not the actual one, but a one that is hanging on the wall. But your standard average everyday batleth, I have a couple wooden ones at the school, so that are really easy to reproduce. So yes, when I do that, I will let you guys know. It'll be freaking fun. But I'll make sure that there's enough batleths to go around. So anyway, but it's one of those where, like, I know it's all about money, and being a school owner, I have to be mindful. Yes, people have to, as a school owner, you have to make money. I get that, but I'm also a very ethical person, and this might be my downfall, but I've seen ethical business, and I bring his name up quite a bit, Brandon Beliso. He is my business martial arts mentor. He has 2 schools in California and survived COVID. Both of his schools are still open, and he fucking kills it. Like, he has like 948 students between 2 locations, and is on track to make over $2 million this year. He charges monthly, no long-term contracts, no promotion fees. Sometimes his events are free. Like he sometimes charges for like he might charge for a birthday because those are kind of expensive to do. And his birthdays, he at one point, he actually did the math. He wasn't making very much on birthdays. So he says, when they start doing birthdays again, they're going to be like $800 or $900 for a martial arts birthday party. But like he puts on the Apple of birthday parties, like top notch, like awesome. But like his parents' night out, those are free. Those are free. So, but he kills it. He absolutely kills it. Gonna make $2 million. And he only teaches one art. He just teaches Chinese Kempo. That's all he does. It's just one system. That's all it does. Let's see. That's why you can make t-shirts with different slogans on them. Sale t-shirts. Oh, is that in reference to selling stuff? And maybe I'm taking that out of context. Sorry. My brain is like going 1,000 miles a minute. And because this is actually, I love talking about this stuff. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm not even wearing an artisan martial arts shirt today, but see, and okay. So like, good example. Now my school isn't big. Yes. So it is in a way to make money. Yes. So school isn't big. Don't have a lot of students. I'm getting there though, slowly, step by step. I have all the mothers in my school. I actually gave them free pink artisan martial arts mom t-shirts, mainly because I had extra pink ones down in stock. And I just did the artisan martial arts, and then came up with this thing, mom. And then, I mean, I've got all the stuff here at the house. I used to make t-shirts. So I make them for the school. But yeah, I was like, they would come in and I'd be like, one of the students, she and her mom come in. I was like, oh, hey, I've got a present for you. And so I give her the shirt, and she thought it was cool. And you know what's really cool? She wore it to the mom's self-defense class on Sunday. So she was representing. And it was really cool because the student actually brought her martial arts belt with her because she wanted to wear it during class. And it's funny, if you look at the picture, Caitlin's wearing her pink belt and her regular martial arts belt. So yeah, that's cool. All right. Kenny is going to be right back. But Kenny, I'm going to have to end this. It's like 11 o'clock. And I still got tea because I've been talking. All right. I have some stuff to do today. I got to watch a new episode of Strange New Worlds. So if you've watched this long, thank you so much. I got 6 people are still watching. At least that's what the little eyeball in the corner says right there. I don't know. That is for me. Anyway, so thank you all for tuning in. I love doing this. I love conversations, how they go this way. And I could talk Star Trek and martial arts all fucking day long. I appreciate all the support. I might, you know what, Bill makes the comment about t-shirts. I might just make my own morning tea with me fan club t-shirt and sell it to you all for $25 plus shipping so I can make money. That's a great idea. I think I'm going to play with that. I like it a lot. Okay. So, Thank you all for tuning in. If you don't follow me on all my social medias, do so. Sensei Mish or at Sensei Mish, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, even though I haven't done a TikTok in a bit. I have videos. I just need to edit them and put them up. And thank you, Adam, for tuning in. Just set me up on your, I do this Monday through Friday, starting at 9:30. That's my new time, 9:30, Monday through Friday. And I just talk until my tea's done. And then let's see. But yeah, if you're not following me, follow me, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And I'm sure you guys all already do that. But if any new people come in, do that. And then come to a seminar. Come to the, if you're local, come to the school, say hi. I'd love to see you. If not, we will chat tomorrow or Monday or whatever next day you're able to tune in. So until then, have a great day. Live long and prosper. See you later.